life is lifing right now. All right, let's start here.
President Trump and Bibi Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, had a very tense conversation. That story was first reported by Axios, and one of the reporters on that byline is Mark Caputo. He's joining us now. Mark, welcome to the Charlie Kirk Show. It's good to have you. Can you hear me, Mark?
No, he can't. But do you guys believe the stupid... do you believe that Trump actually that Trump actually called Bibi Netanyahu and like called him out and like was trying to like be all tough? No, I don't. I don't believe it at all. I think they realize that they are losing it every day more and more and more. I also think they don't really care. I don't know if you saw the whole Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump, or Ivanka Kushner, actually, video talking about the island that they have in the Mediterranean, and Nat Rothschild, who is the Rothschild that is all up in the epi files. So, yeah, where is the one? I think that, man, there it is. All right, I'll pull it up in a minute. But I don't believe at all that like Trump called Bibi and was like acting all tough and total PR stunt, not real, fake news.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Awesome. We've got you now. Your story yesterday in Axios caused quite the stir. The headline is "You're effing crazy." Trump fumes at Netanyahu in call on Lebanon. The subtitle is "You'd be in prison if it weren't for me. I'm saving your behind."
Yeah, right.
Mark, this, like I said, caused quite the stir yesterday. Tell us about your reporting, and do you stand by it now?
Oh, certainly. We spoke to multiple senior administration officials with knowledge of the call, who we have used as sources of accurate information before. And the reason we were able to report this first is over the weekend, my colleague Barack Ravid and I had done a story about how Trump had made an amendment, change to the Iran peace plan, that he's hoping to strike with the government there. And during the reporting of that over the weekend, one of our sources had told us that Netanyahu wanted Lebanon to be included in the peace plan, but Trump thought it was too complicated. Then the next day, on Saturday, or better said on Sunday, the Israeli military just unleashed holy hell in Lebanon. And knowing what I know of the administration and the fact that there have been some concerns for quite some time that Netanyahu himself might not be fully committed to the peace process the way the United States was.
You don't say.
I figured that this would greatly upset President Trump. So we began calling based on that hunch, knowing what we know. And indeed, people told us that this was the content of the conversation. So it wasn't just one person we spoke to. It was two people who are impeccable sources, as well as another person who was briefed more on the call and didn't have as much knowledge of it. So all of their accounts lined up. They came in separately, and that's why we ran the story.
Now, Mark, we don't always get a glimpse behind the scenes of President Trump's negotiations with world leaders. We know he can be a very forward, aggressive individual. So setting the context for our viewers and listeners, is this a significant shift in how President Trump and Bibi Netanyahu have interacted in the past? Does this seem like a significant development, or have they had some pretty fractious interactions like this before?
Fractious.
They have in the past. We've reported them at the time that when Netanyahu unleashed some strikes in Syria last year, it really rankled President Trump. And there have been other times, for instance, when the Gaza peace deal was being hammered out, Trump also had some very frank conversations with him. They have a very long-standing relationship. They have shared political advisors in the past. I would consider them to be sort of brothers, but brothers who sometimes fight, not quite like Cain and Abel, but can sometimes come to some...
Oh my gosh, I think it's StreamYard. Yeah, it must be StreamYard because it just let me. I'm gonna have to. And sorry for my Rumble friends. It didn't let me connect the destination either. So anyone from Rumble, I'm gonna have to upload this later. I'll have to figure that out. But I was able to go to the YouTube studio and then fix the thumbnail. So now it's there. But all right. Sorry, guys.
Pretty serious trading of words, let's say. And so this was very consistent with that relationship. So you didn't quite ask this question, but if someone would think that there's some sort of rupture between the two that would be permanent, I don't think so.
For a lot of Americans, healthcare is reactive.
Yeah, we're done with you, but let's go over to where, right? Yeah.
The issue then is Lebanon. So you mentioned that they unleashed holy hell on southern Lebanon. I have two questions. It does feel reasonable to me that if Israel's getting struck from terrorist cells that are supported by Iran out of southern Lebanon, that should be a separate piece of the deal here. How is the administration looking at those two pieces now? Israel has said that they're going to continue defending themselves, and there's
okay. How do they look at it? Dishonestly, not in reality. That's what they meant. They meant it was a separate peace deal. This isn't the same peace deal. We're talking about a totally different conflict here. So, that shouldn't have any effect on the peace deal with Iran. Dude, man, and I was talking to somebody. Oh, by the way, do you guys remember Matt Tusseroni from TPUSA? He said I could say this. I spoke with him today, and he'll be coming on in the next couple weeks when he feels better. All right. A lot going on, but great conversation. That's going to be a great show. We have a lot to talk about. But holy smokes, what TPUSA is doing every day they wake up and that they do anything like this, it shows that they are the new Fox News propaganda freaking arm of the GOP fake Republican Party. They are the swamp. They are in bed with Philly. They are owned, operated, controlled, and a total freaking tool. They're a tool for the elites. Charlie was not going to do this. I don't know how these people look themselves in the face and can even talk into the camera and act like that they're not total frauds. I don't know how they do it. I honestly don't, because they do it with a straight face. Remember when Andrew Kolvet was like, hey, Charlie, why don't we just lie? Why don't we just lie? Just lie. And Charlie's like, nah, we don't do that. I don't do that. You sure as heck ain't going to do that because you represent me. As long as I'm here, we're not doing that. That's a pretty big impediment to be a propagandist in a fake news operation if the head of the company organization won't lie. Whether Charlie was always on the right side at that moment, maybe not, right? Like he didn't fully come out against Philly until, later in 25. He did it, when he went on PBD, but then also like he would do, speaking engagements and other things where he was asked, and he would still toe the line at times. So like he was in this dangerous predicament where the money and the people like around him were like, bro, you better. And he's like, bro, dude, like, okay, like, all right. But then like he would still find a way, and that's why I totally think that last, 6 months of his life, he's like, why don't I just have people on and I'll ask them questions? You can't get mad at me. Like, I'm just asking questions here, remember? And so like he had Josh Hammer and Dave Smith, and Dave Smith just freaking he just hammered Josh Hammer, made him look like a little boy, He had Tucker Carlson on, asked Tucker questions, what was next? He did the sit down with the TPUSA chapter leads and just asking questions, right? Of course, Andrew Kolvet's there to help right the ship every time that Charlie was like, when those different students were saying things, the whole thing was about Philly. The whole sit down focus group was about Philly. Okay. And then Andrew Kolvet's like, "Meh, we got to stay on track, buddy." And then what was after that? What did he do after that? He went on Tucker Carlson's show as well. And then he had Megyn Kelly on the show. And I think that was like, he was done at that point. I think that was like, because he started getting the text messages from like, what's her name? Lori Cardoza Moore and his whole friend group, you know, that text thread, that group chat where they're like, "You come on, Charlie, don't have Candace on. I know it seems like a good idea right now, but down the line." And he's like, "Bro, stop telling me what to do. I'm gonna have Tucker on. I'm gonna have whoever I'm gonna have on, right, at the Student Action Summit." I think he was done. You know, I think at the end he was like, "I'm darned if I do, I'm darned if I don't, and screw it. The worst you're going to do, the board's going to vote me out." I don't think he thought he was in danger. Like, I mean, at the end, obviously, he sent the text and he's like, "I think they're going to take me out. I think they're going to unalive me. This is getting crazy." And I bet, you know, that night before when he's like at the house or condo with his wife, and he's like talking with Erika, I almost guarantee, based on the Erika we see and the Andrew Kolvet and the Blake Neff and the freaking Frank Turk and the Rob McCoy, like he quickly realized, like, holy smokes, all these people be in on it and I need to get out. So I think at the end, he definitely thought they were going to take him out. But before that, I don't think he was for sure like, "I think they're going to take me out." And I think by then it was too late. But I don't think that he went to UVU thinking today's the day. I really don't. I don't think he walked out on that stage, right? Or that, you know, the little stage and in the chair in the seat, thinking this is the last time I'm going to do a campus event. He's brave. He's courageous. He's honest. He has integrity. He was willing to sacrifice nearly everything for his faith and for the country. But at that same time, right, you have kids. You have 2 kids that depend on you to raise them, to provide for them, to care for them, to love them. And I don't think Charlie would be that callous about that responsibility. I sure as heck am not, you know. I would have regrouped, right? Like if I'm walking out on that stage and I'm like, I'm looking around too, right? Like I look at Brian Harple and I look at Dan Flood and I'm like, there's lots of roofs, you know, like Frank Turek, right? There's lots of roofs. And you realize all my security personnel are down here on the ground with me. And I don't see it sectioned off. I don't see police up there. What the freaking heck, right? And he knows about Butler. So he's like, nah, I don't think he'd be so callous to be like, fine, it's worth it. I don't think so. You know, I'd be like, I'd walk out, I'd look around, I'd be like, thanks, no thanks. We'll do this another day later. And I'd regroup. And probably that time would be the exit and time to go start a new organization. Because if at that point you walk out there and you look around and you're like, yeah, so I'm paying these guys that much money to provide this security. And like, yeah, I'd be like, I'm done. I'm out later. And probably divorce papers be on the way to love you. Don't. Bye. I'll be fighting for my kids because you be crazy and ain't no judge going to be giving you kids the custody for the kids. Yeah. And then I'd live to fight another day. And so I don't think that Charlie walked out there going, it's going to happen right here, right now, because I think he took his responsibilities as a father very seriously. And I think that's just almost an insult to who he was as a man. Okay. And that's what Frank Turek, Erika Kirk, Mikey McCoy, Blake Neff, freaking Andrew Kolvet, all of them would have you believe, right? Because they even said it, right? You know, I really do believe that if Charlie was given the choice to come back and be alive and be a father, or see what his death was the catalyst for, this revival that they speak of, this outpouring of the Holy Spirit, that he would have said, nah, I'm good. I'm going to stay up here. Yeah. No, it's worth it. It's worth it. Bye. Yeah. No. And because all of them are spitting that same BS nonsense, you just know it's freaking nonsense, and they can go fly a kite. So, ugh. And freaking Megyn Kelly, man, don't get me started. We're going to get to her in a minute. Sorry.
There's been no change. Is that how you understand it?
That's how we understand it. And let's face it, this is a complicated, dynamic chessboard where the pieces just happen to be firing at each other with advanced weaponry. And the complication in this entire matter is that Iran, certainly from the perspective of the United States, is a bad actor that is dedicated to the destruction of Israel. And Hezbollah is one of its long-standing proxies. And there is a belief and an understanding by Trump himself, as well as a belief in the administration, that Iran...
All right, so I'm going to say something. I'm sorry if I'm a little fiery right now. A couple things. I'm just tired of a couple things, and I just don't have it in me today to do anything other than just be raw, honest, and myself, which I am most of the time. But today I really feel like just like, holy smokes, this whole YouTube StreamYard thing is ridiculous. Obviously, something's happening. I don't know what it is. It's not like I think I'm a big channel or anything, but like, dude, like it never does this. So, you know. Oh, and like it was telling me that I couldn't even make it, the thumbnail. Like, oh, you can't do it with their real faces. It's like you make it with their real faces all the time. Oh, it's going to violate the policy. Like, what are you talking about, dude? We just did it yesterday. So I'm just tired that these people seem to be a protected class of individuals. You look at like Jared freaking Kushner talking about being on the boat with Nat Rothschild, the same Nat Rothschild, Nathaniel Rothschild, that is all up in the Epi files. Okay. And then you have Don Jr. just now marry the daughter of Epi's banker. What is going on? How is anyone not going, what? Oh, but Trump's not connected. Trump has nothing to do with it. He's not all up in there. And then remember, he's also like, oh, I feel so bad for Bill and Hillary. Like, a lot of my friends are going to be destroyed by this. You know, we shouldn't let it out. I'm just, you know, we should all be freaking done. Okay. And then you have freaking Victor Marx won. He won. That dude won in Colorado. Great. Massey lost. Great. I wonder who paid for those. Well, we know who paid for Massey to lose. Philly. Awesome. AIPAC. Great. I wonder who paid for freaking Victor Marx to win. Probably Philly. Probably AIPAC. Man. And then we look at someone like, I mean, California's dirty, rotten, and just totally corrupt. I was watching Black Scout Survival. Maybe we'll play it in a bit. I got to find that video to make sure it's the right one. But the same Rothschilds that are on the boat with the Kushners and the Trumps, right, are also hugging up to freaking Gavin Newsom, dude. Like, all of these people, they all are related in some way, shape, or form. They like their families. They want to keep the money, the power, the influence all together. And they act like that they're like not like, oh, we hate you. We hate you. You suck. But really, they don't. They're all like, these plebes. They think we hate each other at their parties. And they're like, they bought that. Can you believe that? Crooked Hillary. I love you, Hillary. Give me a break. All right, let me get to a couple of these real quick. Please, trigger warning for TPUSA people. Bet. Total. Bruh. All right. Brian Herpel said they started to prep for security on August 24th. Yeah, exactly. What did they do exactly? Oh, you don't remember? We were sending papers. Yeah, we started all the paperwork and we were like, oh, we totally streamlined this. We're not like a top, like the chain of command is important for a reason, especially in military or like the police or the fire department. It's pretty important. You got to have a chain of command, right? You can't have too many Indians and not enough chiefs. Someone's got to make the call when it's hot, and someone's got to take the responsibility ultimately when things go good and when things go bad. Okay. But he's like, no, everyone has the equal authority to make command decisions. Maybe that's not a good idea, bro. Like, I don't even know how you're still like have a job, let alone freaking Dan Flood got a raise and a promotion. Students told about the stairs to roof. Yeah. And that was the day before. Right. So Dan Flood texts Chief Long like on the day of. I think it's like maybe it would have been on Monday. I've heard different accounts. Okay. But either way, like it's within 3 days. So it was either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday morning, right? They didn't even really do the walk around until the day of. But yeah, they weren't even aware of any threats, or I mean, obviously they were aware because they're prior military guys or prior police force guys. But they were acting like they weren't aware of any of these threats, and that this threat had to be brought to them by others. And like, oh, wait, there's a roof. There's a roof up there where students could walk and they can huck rocks down and the rocks could hit Charlie. Bro. Amateur hour. Worried about rocks. That's what they're worried about. Like, we all just saw Butler. Whether you believe Butler's real or not, the fact is, at this point, you ever do an outside engagement with a political figure or a semi-political figure like Charlie Kirk, maybe you do it where there is no roofs, or you literally lock every roof down. And if the university is like, nah, we can't do that, or like the university police is like, nah, we can't do that, we don't have enough personnel, maybe you just tell them to go fly a kite. And you're like, fine, then we're out of here, man. We're not doing this. And the fact that like Brian Harple and Dan Flood were like, nah, we're good. Yeah. Can we just get someone on the roof behind him so they don't throw rocks down on him? Great. Thanks. All right, let's continue with these guys.
Is probably stoking Hezbollah, or some aspects or some factions in Iran are stoking Hezbollah to attack Israel.
Mark Capita, White House senior political reporter, Axios, on the phone. Okay, I think when we see things like that, by now, we should have our own little like internal visual label where it's like fake and gay, liar, not real, propagandist, paid for by Philly. You know what I mean? Like, you see that, like White House correspondent, like official reporter, like you should just all just go like, not real, not listening to it. But the sad thing is that there's still a lot of people that believe this nonsense. If you guys were here for the episode, which I know was a major history lesson yesterday, and I know some people were like, you need to read a book. Okay, that's fine. I mean, we all can come to different conclusions. It's all good. I do read books. But anyway, take into account everything that's happened in the Middle East, at least for the last 30 to 40 years, is not what this guy's making it out to be. Okay? And so for Andrew Kolvet and Blake Neff to have him on and be like, yeah, this is totally the situation. It's beneath us all, honestly, to just be like, let's see, thumbs down, head over there. Not now, at some point, just give him a big thumbs down.
Knowing it's going to promote or prompt this response from Netanyahu, which can then be used as an excuse to scuttle the entire peace talks. And that is part of the sort of complications of figuring out what's really happening in the Middle East and how peace can happen. Because the reality is the dysfunction is such where there are a number of people and a number of factions and groups that just sort of want to stay in perpetual war. And that's one of the things President Trump doesn't want to engage in.
How do these people do this? Like, we're all watching the same reality. Are we not? Are we not all tapped into the same reality? Like, we're all watching Trump. We're all watching the Middle East. We're all watching Bibi. We're all watching life. Okay. How can he sit there and this is totally not what Trump wants? If it's not what Trump wants, man, then this wouldn't be happening. What are you talking about? Matt's on fire tonight. Love it. Thank you, Shannon Brown. Thank you so much. Yeah.
However, the reality is the United States did launch these attacks initially on Iran, so we're sort of in the thick of it now.
Yeah, I mean, as we often say on the show, you can choose when to start a war, but you can't necessarily choose when to end it. But this dynamic, you know, we
wait. Can we test that theory? Well, okay. Take a second, real quick. I obviously, because of the way things started out, I didn't hit my normal administrative like checklist. That's crazy. Like 30 people dropped off. I didn't do anything different. Holy smokes. We had like 135 and then just like 105. All right. Can you guys do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe? It's the best way to help support this channel. If you've done so already, thank you very much. You're the best. If you haven't done so, shame on you. I'm just kidding. Just hit it. Thanks. All right. I try not to spend too much time talking about that stuff. It's just, you really got to do it, man. You got to do it. All right. I do not believe that Andrew Kolvet and Blake Neff actually believe that they are continuing Charlie Kirk's legacy and being honest, intellectually honest with the positions they're taking on Philly, on Iran, on Massey, on Joe Kent, okay? And having spoken with people within the political system that are pretty well connected, you know, one of them was like, show me some proof where Charlie Kirk was changing on his support for Massey. Show me where he either said it in a text, okay, and verify it with metadata, or an email that can be verified from his account, and that we know that Charlie was near a computer at the time or whatever, like however we verify it, but verify it, or a non-AI created audio of Charlie saying that, oh, because Massey didn't sign the big, beautiful bill, Charlie was done with him. It's just nonsense. So I don't for a second think that these people, Erika, Andrew, Blake, we'll just say them for now. Everyone else is included at TPUSA, but that they actually think that they're doing the right thing, that they're being honest, that they're really carrying on Charlie's legacy. Erika's like all up on X now, like a lot, just lying about things, just not being honest. And I just have a really hard time believing that they're doing this, like, and thinking, yeah, this is totally what Charlie would be doing if he was alive right now. No, so I mean, I just conclude. I mean, I think it's just a natural conclusion that would make them a bunch of liars and pretty corrupt, in my opinion. In my opinion, everything I'm saying in this show is my opinion and is not a statement of fact. Let's see. Let's hop over here. I want to hear what they have to say here. I didn't get to pre-watch this, but let's see. These goobers, man.
All right, there's a new video out. It looks like Megyn Kelly has appeared on the Sean Ryan show, and it's raising a lot of eyebrows. And there was one clip in particular that we wanted to address here. So without further ado, we're going to play it, and then we'll get our reaction on the other side. 31.
It's core MAGA now.
I have no idea.
I think I know. Trump has said from the beginning...
Pedophile supporting Israeli lobby? Well, I have no idea.
Need a different acronym. But Trump has said from the beginning that he defines what MAGA is. MAGA is what I say it is, he has said. And he's not wrong. It's his moniker. It's his campaign slogan.
No, it's not, dude. And you want to know why it's not? Okay. It only is what it is because it resonated with us, the people, the voters. If he would have came out with any other slogan, let's test this theory, ladies and gentlemen. If his slogan was "Make Philly Great Again," it would do nothing. It would be nothing. So it's not whatever he says. And the fact that everything he's saying now is not resonating with us, the base, the people, is proof of that. That really MAGA is what we say it is. It's ours. And the moment he completely lied about what MAGA really started as and what it really was and said, no, now it's this. And, oh, no, but I'm still actually very MAGA and I'm still just so America first. And we're like, everything you're doing is not MAGA, is not America first. Jeffy Epi, not America first, not accountability, no transparency. Okay. Iran. Nope. What about Charlie? What about the FBI, the DOJ, and everything with the Charlie Kirk assassination? What about them apples? Not America first. Okay. They're clearly, in my opinion, protecting people. Okay. In my opinion, that have ties to a foreign government. Okay. Bibi Netanyahu, in my opinion. All right. And people within our own government. It's what it seems like. I don't know about you guys, but it seems like that to me.
And all along, he's defined what is and is not MAGA. And he told me personally, MAGA will feel the way I want them to feel. I'll tell them how to feel about this, that, or the other thing, and they will. And he has been totally right on that.
Nope.
The problem for Trump now is that he has defined MAGA literally to those who agree with Mark Levin. If you don't agree with Mark Levin, you're not MAGA, which means you must be a neocon whose main issue is what's in the best interest of Israel.
Wait, Glenn, who did you say? Who didn't win? The primary isn't till 6:20. He lost the debate. Oh, you're talking about Victor Marx? Then what was was that like some fake propagandist video that I saw where I thought he like got out of his vehicle? Maybe it was. Oh, regarding Victor Marx. Yeah. And you're in Colorado. Got it. Did you guys not see the video where he's like, I consecrate the grounds? Was he not saying that? My bad. So scratch that. My apologies. So he lost the debate. I need to go back and watch the debate. I haven't seen the debate. I just figured if it's Victor, you know, like, did you see how he did with Candace? The guy's not going to do a debate, or not going to win. He's not going to fare well in a debate. I just, whatever I had saw online made it seem like he had won. So my apologies. Scratch that. Fix the record. He did not win. He lost the debate, but the primary is not until, what'd you say? What was the date? The date be like 6:20. Oh, so in 17 days. Yeah, well, I mean, if everything that happened to Massey is any sort of indication as what's to come, you know, yeah.
There's a lot there to unpack, and I have a lot of thoughts.
There's a lot in that minute long.
I have a lot of thoughts. Blake, why don't you start, though? What's your reaction to that clip?
Man, first of all, I think Megan is frankly correct that Donald Trump has said that MAGA is himself. He said, you know, when people bash him, he says, they're not MAGA, I am. He coined the phrase. He's taken out attacker after attacker from left and from right alongside him. And he's won the presidency twice.
He didn't coin the phrase. I think we looked this up the other day. Reagan coined the phrase. Yes, Ronald Reagan is credited with coining and popularizing the exact phrase, "Make America Great Again." He used it as a central campaign slogan during his successful 1980 presidential campaign against Jimmy Carter. Okay, well, that was easy to debunk. So he didn't coin the phrase. All right, but all Blake just said was he agrees with Megan that she quoted Trump. That's all he just said. He agrees that Megan quoted Trump correctly, that Trump did say he's MAGA, he determines what MAGA is, and he says what MAGA is and is not. That's all Blake just said. Great.
Clearly established himself as the dominant player in Republican politics. And if you disagree with him on a specific issue or a specific cause, that can create friction if people still like the claim of MAGA. The other thing I think stands out about that, and it bothers me a little bit because it's become this recurring pattern on the right, is what Sean said there, just saying, oh, what defines MAGA? Pedophile protection and Israel. It's a thing we've seen. We've seen it on campus. We've seen it online all the time. It's a rising thing. And I think it's a real failure mode of thought to reduce all of politics to a fixation on Jeffrey Epstein and a fixation on Israel, where you can have different views on Israel, as I'm sure you'll agree. But if you're going to just define the entire right by the things that you are currently aggrieved about, you are setting yourself up to always be miserable, and you're ignoring the huge number of reasons that we should be happy with the way things are going right now.
What? What? We should be happy with the way things are going right now. If we are upset that MAGA didn't prosecute anyone for Jeffy, if we're upset that it looks like Philly straight up owns us in almost every way now, like that they're not even trying to pretend, and doing a fake phone call with Bibi is almost just like a like it's to certain people that watch Fox News and get their news and they believe Fox, right? Okay, because I mean, did any of you believe that Trump actually called Bibi and really said any of that? Okay, if he did, there was a prior phone call, right, where he's like, "Hey, dude, yeah, this is Trump. I'm gonna call you, okay, and we can record it, whatever." I don't know if it was recorded or not, but it must be, or someone was there to retell it. I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna lay into you, and you're just going to take it, and this is going to appease my base, and it's going to put down all of their concerns and make them love and trust me and you out of nowhere, for sure. There's no way that phone call was authentic. And the fact that he's saying, like, we're setting ourselves up to be just continually upset. No. The only reason why any of us are upset is because the promises that were made were the main, if not only, reasons why we thought Trump and JD and his whole administration was actually going to follow through on those promises and actually represent us, right? And that's why we're upset. We're upset because we voted these people in for specific reasons, and then they get in, and those specific reasons are now being told back to us as, like, Jeff, who are we still talking about this? Can't everyone just move on? It's not as big as you think it is. Like, he didn't do it to any other adults. It was just him by himself. There's no evidence that anyone else was involved. Trump's definitely not involved. And, this whole thing with Philly and Iran, like, that's not really a big deal. Stop making it a big deal. I know I said no new wars. I know I said no foreign wars, no quagmires, no men and American men and servicemen and women would be, sent to fight in a foreign war for another country. I know I said that, but hey, what I really meant was whatever. That's why we're mad. We're mad because this is honestly everything we didn't vote for, right? And it's almost like this might have been the outcome either way, right? If Harris and Waltz won, we know both sides are bought. We know that. We know they're both owned. They just go about it in a different way that still puts on the facade to their base that they're not, right? And so how the left does it has to look a little different than how the right does it. But I think both either way at this point is kind of like, nah, what are they going to do? And so I don't really think that things would be that much different in any way. If not, I mean, yes, probably a lot worse. Okay. But like with this whole Jeff thing and the whole Philly and Iran thing, that was going to happen no matter who got elected. It really was. I mean, try to prove me different. Give me some sort of argument where you think them being in would have resulted in actual charges to people and they'd be convicted for Jeffrey thing, or, that we wouldn't be, Israel's little and in the war with Iran if they were in, would have been either way.
And I think it's I'm fishing for the right word to use, but it feels like wound collecting, if you've ever heard of that.
It sounds like a leftist tactic.
Exactly. It really is a leftist tactic. And to say, actually all that border stuff you ran on, forget about that. All the deportations you've done, forget about that. Getting rid of DEI, forget about that. Actually, the only thing I cared about was Jeffrey Epstein in Israel, and I've decided you've 100% betrayed me, even though you've actually shown greater distance from Israel than prior administrations, and you've shown more willingness to release files about Jeffrey Epstein than prior administrations. I'm still going to be miserable, and I'm going to call you a pedophile protector.
Okay. So he's not looking at the camera. So who do you guys think he's looking at? Okay, he's either reading cue cards, right? Like maybe bullet points. Maybe they're not like word for word statements, but they're like holding cue cards and they're pointing and they're like, you better hit the talking points, right? Because he keeps looking back. Andrew's like, I can't say all this. I'll ask Blake. He'll do it, Out of all the things that we voted them in for, I don't know if there's necessarily a hierarchy of what's most important, because I think all three of these things are like equally important. I mean, if the most important, it's a tie between the Jeffy thing and the foreign war thing and the Philly thing. That's like a 3-way tie. Maybe a 4-way when you talk about, immigration and securing our borders. Like, honestly, he wants us to be happy with the scraps, right? Like, you little dogs, you should be happy that I spilt my plate on the floor and I'm letting you mop up my leftovers. You should be happy with that. That's what he's saying. He's saying like, okay, so Trump didn't do these things, but he did this. You should be happy. And the fact that you're not happy just shows that you're all crazy. No, I reject it.
I think that's a real failure of thought.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a complete failure of thought. And
Okay.
listen, I just want to say, Megan's my friend. She's always been very good to me. So let me just put that out there. Got a lot of great memories with Megan. I will say.
What memories? What kind of memories do you have with Megan, Andrew? I want to know. Look at Blake's like, whoa, memories? You got memories with Megan? He's like, yeah, it's like on memories with Megan. Yeah, we know Megan's your friend, right? Like, Tyler Robinson did it. I can't wait to be there to watch them flip the switch. I'm friends with Erika. I won't say anything bad about Erika. Oh, and he told, and she told, who did she tell? Was it, why am I drawing a blank? Oh, Candace. Yeah. And she told Candace to stop going hard on Erika, right? Like, lay off Erika. She's a widow. I asked Candace to knock it off. So for me, the things that matter most, Megan, has missed the mark on it all, Check email. I will.
What Sean says specifically, and I think my criticism for Megan here is just that I wish you would have corrected him, okay? Because really, Sean is the one who said it. Said pedophiles, so Jeffrey Epstein, and Israel. Okay, I think they recorded this before the Axios bombshell that explained that President Trump had this expletive-laced conversation telling Bibi, everybody hates you now, and I'm like, the guy who's kept you out of prison, there's corruption charges in Israel, whatnot.
I got to back up. You guys distracted me. I don't think I can show that, Delaney. I want to. I mean, there's a lot of trigger words in there that we are fine with, but YouTube would be not fine with. Mystic, you saw the photo, right? What do you think? You think I could get away with showing that photo on here? I don't. I'm a little bit nervous. Who's B. Blake? That's not the same as fake Blake, right? Yeah, you don't think I could? I don't think I could show it either. You know what I can do? If you guys are on X, I'll download it, save it, and upload it to my X after I'm done later tonight. I can't, Elizabeth. What do you want me? You want me to get my channel nuked? Do you really like me, or you're like, nah? Let's get it. Like, if I'm like hesitant and Mystic's like, I don't think you can share it. This is Blake Bernard, Free Zone. You mean, oh, okay, that's not really his name, but I think I know what you meant. Please, Matt. Yes. No, I know. No, I'm saying this up here, B Blake 4683. I said, who's that? I'm not. GMA Blake, not D-manging Blake. Okay. Okay. Got it.
So two things can be true at once. Meghan is probably accurate about the way Trump has defined MAGA, and I think that's fair, and that he will say what they should feel, and he thinks that some people will feel that way. Well, there's a lot of polling out right now that would show that MAGA and America First are no longer the same thing. It used to be that if you polled it, MAGA would be higher than America First, but now America First is higher than MAGA. I get this from Rich Barris, who's been polling this. So there is a contingent of Trump voters that, are devoted to President Trump or whatever he says. There's another contingent that are less devoted, but that are supportive of the policies of America First. Okay. So what I would just say is that promoting this ideology, this failed way of thinking, as Blake has said, is a really, really bad place to go. And it will get people killed. Okay. These people are not well. And I understand there's a lot of people that think there's like this 5D chess going on with Epstein. I'm open-minded to it. But listen, to Blake's point, they have released more files than any administration has.
Okay, if you redact the files or you hold certain files during a certain time period where all the really bad stuff happened, or the one, Zorro, like Zorro, right? Like Zorro, right? Zorro Ranch. Hopefully that doesn't get this all dinged, was never rated when they were investigating, right? And everyone that's blown the whistle on Jeffy said that's where a lot of bad stuff was happening. And yeah, there's some really sketchy stuff about that place. Got it. I think also, right, they did a raid or a search warrant on the New York property, but they showed up and just took photos of everything. And then we're like, we're coming back for it. So you better leave it because we took photos. So don't delete anything, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. 2 weeks to not touch anything, and we'll be back. Be good, Mr. Criminal, Mr. Demon Devil dude. And then they left. So, like, also, there's probably a lot of stuff that we'll never see because it never even got, taken in as evidence because they got rid of it first, or it all got shipped back to Philly. They're not going to delete perfectly good blackmail, right? That they worked so hard on. And now that they're totally leveraging against all Trump and Graham and, Newsom and Ted Cruz. And in my opinion, it looks like that's what's happening. They probably aren't going to get rid of all that. They're probably just going to like ship it back and be like, you got to hold on to this. Or it's probably going to Ivanka and Kushner's new island. Let's see. Let me see. I think it did Black Scout do it? Let's see. Hold on, Black Scout. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. All right. Let me go here. I don't know if you guys saw this. Oh, first of all, this is Black Scout Survival. If you don't know, he is amazing. He's becoming like one of my like most favorite YouTubers. He sticks to himself. He does his thing and he's honest and I like him a lot. All right. Let's listen to this.
What keeps pulling me back into this rabbit hole, right? Let me play the clip.
On a vacation after we left government in the summer of 2021.
And how he says, like, it just irks me after we left government.
Yeah.
We were on our friend Nat Rothschild's boat.
Whoa, we get the Nat Rothschild mention. And that's when the internet collectively sat upright in his freaking chair.
We got picked up in Montenegro, and then we started sailing over to Corfu, and we spent a couple days in Albania. One of the nights there, Prime Minister Rama came to the boat. I had not met him when I was in government, but I was
When I was in government, take the corn cob out your behind, you freaking.
very, very impressed with
All these dudes that closet, I'm sorry, they did.
his vision for what he wanted to do with Albania. I really didn't know anything
I swear it looks like he's wearing makeup.
about the country. I didn't understand the history.
All right, hold on. So just to give you, I did a little quick search of this earlier when I watched this, and I said, is the Nat Rothschild the same Rothschild that's all up in the Epi files? Yes, the British socialite and financier Nathaniel Philip Victor James. Oh my gosh, why do you need so many names? Nathaniel Philip Victor James Rothschild. I guess you're just so fancy. One isn't good enough. You got 2 first names, 2 middle names, and you got Rothschild. So that's like the last name. Commonly known as Nat, is one of the Rothschilds linked to Jeffy Epi. Documents from the U.S. Department of Justice releases feature Nat Rothschild as friend and associate to Jeffy Epi. And these records detail that Epi assisted him with business ventures, such as when Epi Associated lobbied banks to underwrite a mining investment vehicle Nat Rothschild was launching. You know? Yeah. Great. Awesome. Cool.
And the darkness of the history with the communism and the terrible leadership actually led to it being fully undeveloped as a nation. But Eddie came in. He has one of the cool things I was attracted to is the fact that he seemed like a very skilled politician.
Did you hear that? He was attracted to him. I know he didn't say that. One of the things he was attracted to was him.
A very strong and smart leader, but also the fact that he was an artist. I thought it'd be very cool to see what a country really led and built by an artist could be.
So why do they all seem a little limp wristed, by the way? All the GOP guys.
Yeah, they are.
But we got to
hold on, let me get to Ivanka's part. Where is Ivanka's part? Or did he do Ivanka first? I think he did Ivanka first. Let me go. That's them at the wall. And let's see, where's Ivanka? She's going to be here then. Oh, there's Jared. I know Ivanka's in here because he plays her video. We got Kanye talking about it. Tucker. Oh, this is great. So I don't know if you guys know this. Ivanka, I don't think she was ever Christian, but supposedly she left Christianity and converted to Judaism.
A very special thanks to someone who truly loves Israel. In fact, loves it so much that my daughter converted. I didn't know this was going to happen.
He goes on to say he's proud of her for this. Why would you be proud of? And the thing is that it's crazy to me that the so-called claimed Christians in America that worship one Old Testament verse, that this religion denies Jesus Christ. So in the most layman of terms, it is anti-Christ.
Yes.
It is anti-Christ. There is no connection there.
Nope.
This is a religion based on anti-Christ beliefs.
Yep.
But who made her do that? The guy sitting right there, Jared Kushner.
Yep.
Happened. And Ivanka's here.
Nothing so real. Oh, the other thing you just found out today is that he just became a billionaire. Great.
And BB, you do know this was not in the cards for me. You understand that. And she is so happy, and they are so happy. At least I think they're happy. If they're not, we have a...
She's not smiling. He thinks that's hilarious. He's got his, what are those called? Crow's feet or chicken feet? I don't know. Crows. She's not really laughing on that. I don't think she's happy.
Big story, right?
Yeah.
And then he goes into talk about where is it. So we got Gavin Newsom with one of the younger Rothschilds.
Politicians, no matter left or right. Well, just so happened, Rothschilds are very close with, guess who? Gavin Newsom. Wow. So they're friends with the Trumps, but they're also friends with Gavin Newsom.
This is like Brandon or something with a B. Rothschild. He's one of the younger ones. Let's get to let's listen to Ivanka.
My real estate roots, which has been a lot of fun, and I'm working on an incredible project with.
I love how as I'm getting back to my real estate roots and working on a project, building a private bunker on an island somewhere.
My husband in the Mediterranean. It's massive in scale.
I think that's an understatement. Can you explain?
Yes, it is. It is.
There's no power.
See, even this guy's calling her out on it. This is an understatement. Chill.
Power on this island. You're building everything from scratch. Correct.
Well, it's an unbelievable, beautiful 1,400 hectare private island in the middle of the Mediterranean.
You know, are they escaping because they know that we're about to get a nuke sent to the U.S., the EMP?
Yeah. What's his name? Palantir. Peter Thiel just moved his whole family down to Argentina. Cool. Everybody's jumping ship. I wonder if it's like the Titanic and all the rich people are getting on the life jackets first and getting on the lifeboats first, right? And they're leaving us plebes to suffer, right? Let the goyim suffer in the real world, right? Okay, Jeffy.
What have you? Or maybe they're running from extradition. I don't know. Let's zoom out for a moment because this isn't an island story. This is a behavior story. Behavior tells you priorities.
Yep.
It tells you fears. It tells you what people are preparing for.
Yep.
And right now, the behavior of the wealthy is pretty fascinating.
Sure is.
They're not acting like people who believe everything is fine.
No.
They're acting like people who want options, a lot of options, backup options, redundant options, emergency options. The prepper community gets mocked. For the past 20 years that I've been involved in survival.
Yeah, I agree, man. And it's just straight up disgusting what these people are doing and acting as if nothing is happening, you know?
People are talking about they've been retracted or the retractions. Well, they're supposedly protecting, victims. So go ahead, Blake.
Well, and I just want to support your point. You mentioned the Trump House killer. That guy was possibly radicalized by this pedo Epstein stuff. The White House Correspondents' Dinner shooter. He said Trump is a pedophile and a rapist. He had these.
How are they allowed to say that word? Most people, you have to say the grapes, like grapes. I mean, I think people are not necessarily being like hyperbolic, but I mean, I think it's a natural. I think it's a pretty fair assumption that when Trump promised accountability, transparency, charges, convictions with anyone associated with Jeff, and that he swore up and down he's not in there. But then he gets in and he starts backpedaling and is like, are we really still talking about this? You guys still care about this? Can we all just move on? And then he's like, I'm so bummed. A lot of my friends are going to be hurt by this. And Bill and Hillary, like, I gave a lot of money to them back in the day. They're my friends. And then he moves to stonewall this whole thing, not release on time, make sure victims' names are not redacted, but they should have been, and then perpetrators were redacted. And then we had those show depositions with, Wexner and Bill and Hillary. Whatever happened with that? Nothing. It was just to make us all go like, oh, they're doing something. Oh, they're doing something now. Pam Bondi gets, out there and it's like, defending. Oh, what about the Dow? How are we not talking about the Dow? All of the winning. We're just winning. We're winning so much. Why are you focused on the fact that we're losing over there? But we're winning. And then Trump literally, we know that his name appeared more times in the emails than God in the Bible. and Harry Potter in the series of all the books. So it's really hard for me to believe that he's not in some way, shape, or form. And then look at how he's behaving with Philly and BB and Iran. It's just like there has to be leverage. Everyone is saying that Trump is operating against his best interest. Okay. Like whether he believes the polls or not, everything he's doing long term, I think it's ruined his legacy. As a president, as one of the greatest presidents in history, he's ruined it. And there's just no coming back from that. He may go down as one of the worst presidents in history, most dishonest, non-transparent, corrupt, sold this country and the American people and our military to Philly. Okay. And so for these people to get up there and say all this, how can anybody not directly connect this and how they shifted completely? Because you know who was really outspoken about Jeff? Charlie Kirk. Very. And he wasn't as outspoken about Philly as probably a lot of us would have hoped, but most of everything we know came after September 10th. Like, yes, we knew, and there was signs, and maybe a lot of you knew a lot, but like really the real hard pushing on Philly came after September 10th. Like Charlie Kirk's assassination, like really blew the top off of all that. And so saying that he didn't go hard enough on Philly before, I think is an unfair characterization. That I think the better question would be, what would he have been doing since September 10th if he were still alive? And I would say, in my opinion, he'd be doing what Joe Kent has done, what Tucker Carlson has done, Candace Owens has done, Owen Schroyer. I mean, yeah. And then here we have Blake and Andrew acting like everything's just normal.
Memes blasted into his head that, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it straight. They are false. Donald Trump is not a pedophile. He is not a rapist. There is no evidence for either of these allegations. It is people who have been cooked by an obsession with a long-running online story where they're running with things that aren't confirmed. And this guy, he tried to murder the president, and he easily could have murdered a dozen other people in the crossfire because he had a gun and he was at the facility.
I was in the room. It was terrifying.
How many people could be like that? There are mentally unwell people who will take the exact.
You believe that? Andrew Kolvet was there and I was terrified. Bro, they didn't even make it into the room. He was in the hallway, and from everything we've seen, bro, it was just the next greatest op that went wrong, that missed the mark.
Exaggerations they hear from online figures, from the media, from politicians, and they will take those things literally.
No, it's frustrating too, because and this is what happens. The internet crazies will hurl an accusation, and then if you address it, then it's like, oh, you defended yourself too much. If you don't address it, well, why are you silent on this topic?
No. Okay, back up for a second. Let's take Andrew, Erika, and Blake as examples of what he just said, right? Candace, Barron, and others have brought up numerous things that have never been addressed. Never. The major issues that have been brought up about Erika, Andrew, Blake, TPUSA, Mikey McCoy, Rob McCoy, Frank Turek, the finances, the Doge style audit, Philly, Iran, Charlie's stances before, what happened, what Charlie was doing before and after. None of those have ever been honestly like debunked or addressed. They've either outright been ignored completely, but anytime you hurl a personal attack at Andrew Kolvet, Erika Kirk, or Blake Neff, they're all about it. They're all about addressing it on X and getting down in the weeds. But all the real stuff that's ever been brought up against them, they just straight up ignore it. So they're not even being honest in their retelling of the recent past.
There is no right answer when it comes to pedophilia accusations. They tried to accuse Erika of being like connected to Epstein. This
no, we said that her working for the Cochrane Group. There's some weird ties there, associations or networks, or that he had property that was handled by them. I mean, she was in New York when that was one of his base of operations. And then you take into account that she seemed to be brooming a 15-year-old when she was 25. Never addressed that. Okay. Never addressed that she was completely inappropriate as a 25-year-old adult woman with a freaking 15-year-old child, and acted like that was totally normal behavior to say the things that she said in those, conversations, in those messages. And it's naturally, and then all the connections to Romanian angels and, all the people that, Greg Laurie, Victor Marx, all these people that have weird connections, Rob McCoy, two people that have literally been convicted of these things, and they still choose to associate with and defend those people. Yeah. So then, like, it's not a huge jump, or leap to be like, it looks like there's a lot of the same stuff going on, and connections and people, they all seem to be doing the same thing. They won't address that for real, though.
This stuff is like, it will drive fringy people, schizo people, crazy people. It will drive them to violence. And so I don't like seeing a conversation between two people that should be responsible in this way, just echoing and parroting the pedophilia stuff and the Israel stuff, when we just saw a very clear example from Axios where Trump is telling Israel what to do and what not to do, and saying he's not going to get dog walked, and he needs to be getting into line. So anyways, I just, those are my thoughts. A lot of you sent us this clip and wanted our thoughts, and we were like, well, instead of addressing it one-on-one, we're just gonna talk about it.
We're gonna blast it out.
That's what the whole point of this YouTube channel is, because there's got to be some sanity that returns to the Epstein conversation. If people are guilty of pedophilia and sexually assaulting young girls,
I hope my channel doesn't get nuked. I don't know how these people are saying these words. These words are like just known to be, like things you can't say on here. Okay, I found the audio. This is from Zach Costello's channel today. If you guys don't know who Zach, you should know. You should know by now, right? This is Zach Costello. Okay. If you don't know, and go over to his channel, give him a like, give him a subscribe. I don't know if you guys heard of the video that the Dallas Baptist pastor that Erika Kirk did her Make Heaven Crowded event. What the heck? Oh, and that's the other thing that happened right before I went on. That thing started just flashing like out of nowhere. I don't like, honestly, this whole setup today, my head is still in a spin from it all, because like all of it happened all at the same time. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? All right. But this Dallas Baptist pastor, something Graham, where she had the Make Heaven Crowded event tour at, just did a recent fake audio of Charlie. Listen to this. It's nuts.
It was created on AI, artificial intelligence, from the words of Charlie Kirk. But I want you to watch this clip and hear what Charlie is saying regarding what happened to him.
First, I want you.
Okay. How do you start out by saying this is an AI generated clip of things Charlie said, and then in the next breath say, I want you to listen to Charlie himself, and this is what Charlie actually said? Like, what? No, it's fake. It's fake.
To know I'm fine not because my body is fine, but because my soul is secure in Christ. Death is not the end. It's a promotion. Don't waste 1 second mourning me. I knew the risks of standing up in this cultural moment, and I'd do it all over again. Second, do not let this violence divide us further. The enemy wants chaos, fear, and retaliation. Don't give it to them. Instead, double down on truth. Double down on courage. Double down on your faith and on your families. That is how you honor me. Third, remember this. America is worth it. Free speech is worth it. Fighting for the unborn, for families, for sanity in a culture gone mad. It is all worth it. So dry your tears, pick up your cross, and get back in the fight. Do it with joy. Do it with strength. And never, ever let evil think it won.
This is crazy. Watch all these people stand up and applaud them creating a fake speech of Charlie and then selling it as if it's stuff he said, even though some of the ideas and concepts and beliefs in there, I do believe Charlie held, but a good majority is just straight up grotesque, morbid, to put it in Erika's words, making Charlie say anything other than anything he actually said. Playing a clip of Charlie in full, letting his words speak for himself is the only way to say Charlie said anything. You can't, and you need to play it in context. You can't clip something of Charlie and try to make it like they did that on X with the war in Iran, and they got community noted for it. I agree, Zach. Nuts.
And if anything ever happens to me, Erika will make a great CEO.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
They cut that part off, apparently.
Yeah, well, that's in the next one. That's in the sequel. They haven't perfected it yet. All right, that's the AI version coming next week. They're working out all the kinks. They can't have it be that obvious. That was too obvious.
Want them freaking drawn and quarter in the public square.
Oh,
we
yeah.
have a system. We have laws.
Trump would probably be on board with that more than any prior president.
Trump was like working with local police and FBI in like 2007 trying to get Epstein. So like, I don't know where.
That is such a lie. That is such a lie. Oh, Trump was working in conjunction with the FBI and local law enforcement to get this guy. Okay, so your son marries this dude's banker who, yeah, I mean, like but you are. You're guilty by association when it comes to this stuff and these people. All right. Like, no, like if my neighbor does something, I'm not guilty. I mean, as long as I'm not there, I didn't do it. But like, dude's banker's daughter. And then you got Kushner, your daughter's husband, who she just converted to Judaism, was on a boat with Nat Rothschild, who's all up in the files. These are not large leaps to believe that all of these people are all connected to all of this, including Trump. But because they said it so, it's true. Oh, because they said it so, it's true.
The revisionism is happening. But like, all I'm begging for, I'm probably more open to a large grand conspiracy than you, Blake. Would you say? I'm probably a little bit more on the like Epstein, Intel, Mossad, CIA, whatever. Like I'm very open to that. But for the love, man, there has to be some sanity that returns to this conversation. There has to be
sanity in this conversation, and just sanity about the overall state of the movement, that we have an administration that has delivered win after win on so many important issues. And you can disagree with the Iran war. You can consider the Iran war a huge misfire if you like, but that does not abruptly blot out so many things where there are big wins, where we know categorically that if the left retakes power, they will undo those wins to the best of their ability, make things worse than ever, and still not resolve the things that these guys are complaining about. Like, are they suddenly going to fix everything in the Middle East? No, the left doesn't actually do that either. These people are letting them.
That's what Black Scout Survival was saying, is that, and I agree, at this point, you guys, ladies and gentlemen, this whole left versus right thing is just a vehicle to keep us fighting with each other, divided, and focused our time and energy on one another instead of on the people that are really the ones in control and doing all this to us, right? The people voting on the left, yeah, there's probably some crazies in there, radical leftists. Okay, yes. But who are the ones out of the left that are voting on the legislation, that are passing the laws, that are, the ones in control of everything? Okay, whether that's on a city, state, or federal level. It's this class that's above all of us. And behind them is this other class. It says, the saying like, show me who you can't criticize, and I'll show you who controls you. Okay. Always be true. That AI was a test drive. Yeah, room for improvement. Exactly. And they're going to test it in their local audience where, that's why they tested it there at the Baptist church, right? With whatever his name, Pastor Graham. And then they're like, okay, this is what it sounded like. They have cameras probably facing the audience, like reading their body language, their facial expressions, uploading it to AI to be like, did they believe it? How much did they believe it? Which part did they believe? Which part did they not believe? Okay, back to the drawing board, everybody. Now we got the other one. Now we got to upload it, and we got to fix that one. We can't release that one yet, but they have it. Right, okay. But they have a video too, right? But then they use a photo of Charlie speaking in Korea and say that's the photo. Okay, man. Give me a break.
Their own fixations. I'll be frank. They're going to let their own fixations put this country in danger and a huge number of wins in danger.
Do you know what's more critical to the future of America than Epstein?
The border.
The Brazilification of America. They want us factionalized and ethnically divided. They want us at each other's necks and racial wars and all this.
Yeah, nice pivot, bro. Nice pivot. Yes, that matters. Yes, that's a big deal. Yes, we need to secure our borders. Yes, we need to not let any more illegal immigrants in here. We need to not let any foreign, military age terrorist men and women, okay, cartels, like all of that, criminals. Yeah, we need to secure our borders and focus on our country and keep Americans safe. 100%. You know what's way more important than that? Are we being controlled by a bunch of PDF files? And are they being controlled by Mossad and CIA and Philly and BB with compromat material on them doing those things? Because if that's true, then nothing else will ever get dealt with. Because if we're being controlled by people like that, who are being controlled by people like that in Philly, we're never going to get our country back. We're never going to get anything actually passed that is what we want in our best interest. Okay. That's why they had this whole operation to get blackmail material on the people that write our laws, vote on our laws, control us, run us, subjugate us, so that nothing will ever get done that's in our best interest. And so, no, most important is that, because then if we can get all those people out of there and we can point and say they did do this, they were running this operation with Jeffy, and they did have a lot of blackmail, and these are all the people that were being blackmailed, and we get them out of there, then we can actually vote people in that are really going to represent us and pass laws and actually fulfill their campaign promises to us, like securing the border and everything else. But if we try to, they want to distract us with that, like this border thing's going to be dealt with by these people. No, come on. I hope no one's buying that.
DEI garbage. They're anti-white. They're anti-capitalist. They're anti the founding fathers. The border is shut down under Trump. That is the biggest existential threat that was facing our nation under Joe Biden. There was a lot of them. So it's like a huge deal. And now I just got this from a DHS source just yesterday. Last week, we were averaging 3,000 to 3,500 arrests of illegals a day. That's a lot. And by the way, most of those
100,000 a
people,
month.
yeah, but most of those people have been in the country 3+ years. So
And I bet some of them were criminals. Okay. And yes, anyone that comes here illegally should be deported, but we don't know anything about those numbers. They just threw out a stat and acted like it was something that it probably wasn't. It probably was a lot of illegal family members too, just like people that should have come here legally and should not have come here illegally either. But I mean, making it out to be like, everyone that they, rounded up and arrested and deported were all just the worst of the worst. I think is grossly mischaracterizing what the Trump administration has done at the border. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see. What are we at? An hour and 32. Let's keep going.
we're actually finally addressing root causes. And we want to blow it all up and go black pill on everything because you disagreed with the Iran strikes. Okay.
Wait, do you guys think that's the root cause? Do you guys think that's the root cause? No. I think the root cause would be these people that are ruling over us. I mean, and I don't want to sound redundant. I keep repeating myself, but that's the root cause. And these guys are just totally, man.
Okay. I'm sorry. Or you disagree with the admin in the binder gate or whatever. Okay, I get it. Those are
Open
frustrations.
borders can destroy America. DEI can destroy America. Socialism can destroy America. A lot of things can destroy America. The Iran war, however bad it might be, will not destroy America. The Epstein scandal could not destroy America.
How in the actual world could they say that with a straight face? Oh, I want to see what some of you guys are saying. All right, I'm all cut up on supers. We still got some more to look at, but do you guys really think that Jeffrey and the Iran war and Philly's involvement and control over us could not destroy America? If anything, look at how our country is just quickly crumbling and being destroyed, and answer that to me. Yep, lies. Wars can destroy America. Yep, 100%. Did they rehearse this? Yeah, probably. Sadly, I was just going to say the same thing. Yep. Let me see. Yeah, I agree with this. I don't agree with birthright citizenship. I mean, I think that incentivized so much of this illegal immigration because people naturally found a loophole, right? They heard that, if you're here and you're an illegal immigrant, but your child is born here, then they become a citizen. And then I think it's a natural conclusion that they're not going to separate us, especially back when they weren't doing that. So I agree that you should only be a citizen if, your parents were both legal citizens. I agree with that. Let's see. But yet again, who's giving us the numbers? Yeah. Who's giving us the numbers? Do we trust those numbers? Do we really? No. I don't trust anything. Yeah, I agree. What the two things that are destroying America? Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Yeah. Cloward Piven strategy. What is that? TNT. What does Cloward Piven strategy mean? I bet they're cuddling while they go through their lines. Yeah, I agree. We're going to continue, but I got to hit my admin point. If you guys haven't done so already, we got 140 people here. I haven't refreshed, but before I refresh, it said 64 likes. Can you guys do me a favor and just hit the like and subscribe? I really appreciate it. It's the best way to help support this channel. Thank you so much. Let's see. So get an espionage. Exactly. Let's see. This show, TPUSA, is a clear example of demonic hermetics. Yeah. Where they are trying to bring a lie to scale. I agree with that, Kindness. That's a very good point. All right, let me continue.
But the left could. And that is the most important thing to remember.
And they will. And they're telling us that that's going to happen. So listen, I'm with you out there. If you still have a bunch of questions about Epstein, I do too. Got to have some sanity. There's got to be some adults in the room that actually speak some sense into this. And I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for the comments on this. I hope not. I hope you guys hear my heart here.
No, we don't. Your heart is way off, bro.
And realize I want us to understand in the right priority, in the right decision-making matrix, how to assess these questions and where to properly place it. Anyway, that's my thought. Let us know if you agree or disagree.
We disagree wholeheartedly, bro. Wholeheartedly. All right, I want to hear what he says here.
Think of command and control in the terms of the United States, right, where we have a president, a secretary of war, and it flows down from there. What is your reporting saying or showing, Mark, on the command and control structure of the Iranian regime at this point? Is it possible there's rogue elements that are fueling this, and the moderates are trying to, keep them at—
Yes, that's what it is. Let's see. Okay, he's talking when they do that there, and then when they move the screen back here, they're talking.
Yeah, this is super fascinating. So I just want to reiterate, this, I tweeted out your story yesterday, Mark. I got immediate blowback from, I would say, people that want to see the regime overthrown in Iran.
Yeah.
I just want to double check. You stand by your reporting. You also broke the day before that President Trump. Okay, 100%. You also broke the day before that President Trump was that they were getting rid of the weaponization fund. And
oh my gosh, I'm over you, bro. You guys remember hearing the stat? I mean, it's from a movie or something like that. It's like 60% of the time it works every time. Like that's his stats. That's how much we can trust Andrew Kolvet and Blake Neff. Like 0% of the time we can trust them. Let's just remember who Erika Kirk is, okay?
We live in the greatest country where you can be so many different things.
You're right. You can be a PD file. You could be a foreign agent. You can be a total corrupt, dishonest criminal and still be President Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham, Hegseth, JD Vance. You could be Andrew Kolvet. You could be Blake Neff. Yeah, you can be anything you want in America, just not an honest, integral, person, and be in any sort of, position of power and influence, because they either make sure to get you out or they take you out. Yeah. Let's see. Thank you, Mystic. I was born in West Germany to American parents, and that didn't make me a German citizen. Interesting. I have to show my certificate of birth abroad from the State Department, along with my German birth certificate, to get driver's license, etc. in the U.S. Wait. American parents. Yeah, but you're a U.S. citizen, right? Yeah, but you're saying, like, in comparison, like Germany doesn't even have that, where you can just be a citizen because you were born there, right? Like you're not a dual citizen. Yeah. I wonder if they still, I mean, that was back in, when I was born around, right? Roughly in the 80s, right? You don't have to tell me when you were born. Never ask a woman when she was born or how old she was, unless she's willing to give it up herself. That's fine. But neither does France. Do they still have that policy? Like Germany and France still have a different policy than us, where you can be born there, but you're not a citizen there? Are we like the only country that does that? That would make sense. That tracks. That checks out. Yeah. By the way, let's see who's all here right now. We got Renita. I saw Glenn earlier, right? Was Glenn here? Jim Bear's here, and Mystic is here. I don't know if Bree's here. It's later. She should have been able to put the kids down. But everyone just give a good shout out to the mods for all the amazing work that they do here on the lives, but also behind the scenes. And all of you as well. Shout out to all community members, new and OGs. We all make this the community that it is, and I love and appreciate you all for it. All right, let's continue and watch Erika Kirk lie and do it so effortlessly.
You can be a mother. You can be an author. You can be a nurse. You can be a teacher in one full lifetime. You don't have to just be one thing. And honestly, being a mother is one of the greatest honors and privileges and job titles you could ever have, because there's something so powerful and true, authentic.
Wait, can you really be like 5 different professions all in one lifetime? I mean, like, yeah, I guess, but a lot of those, like, you would need separate degrees for, life, job experience. No, not really. And I love, she's like, job title as a mother. Man, this chick, where did they find her? I wonder what kind of litmus test they did when they were like, we got to make sure Charlie's wife is X, and they were like, nah. Erika Kirk, perfect. She'll do exactly what we want. Like pageants.
Biblical womanhood. And it's not something to be afraid of. It's not something that you have to be categorized as, and you don't have to fall into, being a trad wife and making sourdough bread. I never fell in that category, or being a boss babe and never being around your.
Don't make fun of sourdough bread. My wife loves sourdough bread. I just bought her homemade loaf the other day. She makes it herself too. Sourdough, don't hate on that, man.
Kids, there's a balance is slightly not real, but there's a way to cohesively.
Okay, so gosh, she's so slippery and slimy. What a deceptive worm. So when Charlie was alive and they did speaking engagements together, she literally said definitively, balance is a myth. It does not exist. And here she's like, it slightly is a myth. It slightly doesn't exist. Just slowly walks back everything that she's ever said publicly with Charlie about marriage, trad wife, Christian family, nuclear family, mainly just about her role or young women's roles within the house, within community, within families, because now she's going to be living the complete opposite of everything. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic like that. It shook everything. We're good. But she knows that she's doing everything opposite that she's ever said everyone should do if they could. So she's got to just walk it all back, man. Can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
Blend your life in a way that's honoring to the Lord and what he's blessed you with, but also to what he's held you responsible for. And so for me, I
think what we need, ladies and gentlemen, we need real, honest Christian women, wives, mothers who are up for it to become, I don't know if people want to, but like the women that they're toting out for us as these examples of Christian womanhood, as conservative, traditional, like examples, are just the worst, right? My wife should do it. She no offense to mothers with young children, and I'm not saying anything negative, but like Erika Kirk, she was married like 4 years, right? 21. I think they got married in 21 or 22. Not been married a very long time. She's much older than Charlie. Yes, but just together in reality, like young, kids under 5. And she's out there acting like she is some person to be giving other women marriage advice, other women parenting advice, other women Christian advice, when until she really met Charlie, she hadn't actually lived as a Christian a day in her life. Nothing she ever had done publicly or privately, personally, in relationships or by herself in any way, shape, or form would make her an authority on any of the things that she claims to be an authority on. Okay. And so, you know, her, Allie Beth Stuckey, and like all the other women that they tote out here as people that we should like look up to and listen to, young women, young Christian women. We shouldn't. And we need, and maybe they already exist. Maybe it's just that their channels aren't big. I don't know. But we need people, other women, to take this lady's place. She's not an example. No one should be listening to her on any life advice at all. And, you know, we need more good, solid Christian men as well, husbands, fathers, to be willing to become a public figure. You know, I'm thinking of becoming more involved in my local city, county, in a more official capacity. You know, I mean, I'm already pretty involved, whether that be like coaching jujitsu for my kids or their sports teams, right? And my wife going on field trips, being involved in the school, you know, doing things in our neighborhood, our church. You know, I work in the community, servicing families of special needs kids. But I think that the only way that we really begin to affect change, yes, it's on a person by person. It's on a, first you have to be yourself, right? An integral, honest Christian individual, if we're talking Christian, you know, ethics. And, you know, if we're, for those of you that maybe aren't Christian or aren't conservative Republicans, then, you know, there's still time. But for those of us that are, the first place you have to do it is yourself, in your home, in your marriage. If you're a father, then with your children, and same with if you're a woman, right? Then at your work, right? With your coworkers, and then it goes out from there. And so you first need to be responsible and honest in those relationships, starting in the home and with yourself, and then outwards. But we definitely need more honest, real people like all of us to be willing to step up, and whether that be on a show or wherever it is, because we need to take back what has been stolen from us, and what all of these fake individuals act like that they are doing for us, pretending that they are themselves, and they're not. You know? Yeah. Whoa. Has that chat been up there the whole time, or did that just pop up there? Has that live chat been on the screen the whole time? I didn't hit that button. That's weird. Maybe I'm crazy.
I want my children to see. I saw at a very young age my mom do it. And so when people were asking me in the beginning, how are you going to do this? It's like, I saw the blueprint. I saw my mom do it. I saw my mom build her company from nothing when I was 6. And yeah, was I at the Boys and Girls Club every day after school? Yes, I was. But that also built me into the person that I am today. I played basketball while I was there. I met with kids that were all different types of backgrounds from me. I didn't look at kids and be like, oh, you're different from me, I'm going to stay away from you. They were just my friends, you know? And so certain things like that puts you in a position of,
I was pulling up a different video.
yeah, okay, life throws some crazy things your way, but all glory to God. I mean, you use it in a way that is glorifying to him, and you make it work. You make it work. And I'm not going to sit in the corner in fetal position and just cry my eyes out. Yeah, there's time and place for that.
So when's the time and place for that for you, when your husband's assassinated in like the worst and horrific way? Because I don't know that you ever did that at all. Ever. Sent an email with a clip of Charlie and Megyn Kelly about AI. Yes, that's the clip I just pulled up. We can look at it.
Costa was only too happy to put this AI version of a dead child on his show and interview him.
It better not.
It was truly jarring. It was so exploitative. It was deeply wrong. I'm going to show you some of it. I do this only so that the audience understands what we're dealing with. Forgive me for showing any portion of it, but I want you to know.
I don't know that I can show it. This is on I think this is on Instagram or TikTok. I don't think I can show what it is. Hold on. Let me pull this off and then let me view it before I show it. Okay. And then let me just make sure that it'll check out.
But okay, so the world expects that of me, but I don't expect that of myself. And neither does God. Didn't put that spirit in me. So fight or flight mode, I'm fight mode. So
well, and you and Charlie did things, I mean, he talks about in the new book about being countercultural about a lot of things. And I love one of the things that he said about Shabbat envy, that he loved looking around at people who were practicing the Sabbath and saying, man, I'd love to be able to get off this hamster wheel and do that. And he outlines that in the book about how it's not just physically resting, but it's really a
well, I wasn't able to listen to the audio. I mean, so visually it doesn't show anything, but always be true, right? Let's see. Yeah. Can you tell me, either email it to me or you can either email it to me depending on what it says or throw it in the chat as long as it's appropriate. Just to give me a heads up of what they make the AI, what the AI says, what it is they play. Yeah. Either send me an email or throw it in the chat so that I know what is going to be said.
soul rest.
It is.
Oh, and then like Mystic or Glenn or Renita or Jim, send me clips of Charlie for the end of the show, please. If you would, whoever can, if they can.
Spending time with the Lord, regenerating there. And he really challenges people in the book. And I loved your forward where you talk about the tyranny of distraction, because we all deal with that. And I think that noise only just gets louder and louder.
Wait, did she just say your book? I love the forward in your book. Why are her eyes like that, bro? What is wrong with this chick? Ugh. Ugh.
The more we have technology, the more that we have people in our ear. So a radical step for him to say, like, nope, as busy as I am, I'm going to shut this down for 24 hours and refocus.
I know. And isn't that interesting how something as simple as a boundary rocks the world? Like, it's okay to say, I'm just going to stop. This noise is not fueling to my soul. If I'm going to fulfill my mandate and fulfill what I need to do, I need to be able to hear from the Lord. And I need to be able to just press pause, be with my family, recenter myself, and understand that echo chamber out there and social media out there is not real life. Those opinions are the opinions of others. But what matters is within these four walls. What matters is being able to just take the time to set a boundary and say, give me a minute. And like I've said before, it's the one commandment where if you don't partake in it, you're the one that misses out on the blessing that God has for you in that moment of rest. And Charlie knew that. He knew that deeply.
And in that last chapter, he gives very practical ways that you can do this, which I always think is helpful, that it's not just saying, here's my argument for this and why I think that you should observe it. But when people say, I can't, I'm too busy, he says,
okay, Erika said that. Literally, I'll find it somewhere. I don't know, unless somebody else can find it. I can show it tonight. But when she's asked about whether or not she still observes the Sabbath, as if, how Charlie said to do it and how the book says to do it and how Charlie was doing it, she was like, nah, I can't. I haven't really been able to now that I'm a CEO and I'm running this organization. Money. And yeah, I'm a parent of two kids that nobody has seen since the assassination. And I shared a photo of kids that aren't those kids, but then acted like they were those kids. But I'm a full-time parent, or I bring them with me to the office as well. So they're always with me. I take them everywhere. But then I pass them off to like student, interns to watch them for me, who I don't even know their names, but my kids know their names. Yeah, I'm doing all that. But no, I don't have time to take a Sabbath. So like prescriptively, y'all should do it. You should buy this book. Tells you how to do it. I've read the book, but I haven't read the book because I don't want to read the book, because I know once I do read the book, it'll be the last time I ever read the book. Okay. This chick. And so, no, I don't really do a Sabbath, but I do like a couple hours here and a couple hours there. But it's good enough because I make sure it adds up to 24 hours by the end of the week. Give me a freaking break, man.
Here are some steps. This is the way you can do it. And I've heard you say,
Sorry.
adjustments, not excuses.
Correct. And make it fun. It's not meant to be legalistic. It's meant to be a moment for you to be able to say, okay, you know what? I've waited all week for this moment. We're taking the kids hiking. You know, make it an adventure. Make it something really special with your spouse. And you can make it different every time. But the one thing I looked forward to the most on those days where Charlie honored the Sabbath was the note that he would write to me.
Okay, so looking back, there's certain things that like we paid attention to at the time. And I'm sure if some of you remember all of this, good for you. There's some of this that like, for me, either like it's either refreshing or it's refreshing my memory. It's not refreshing in any way. Or it's almost as if like I didn't notice some of these things. But there's so much going on. It's like, anyway, this woman in no way, shape, or form is being honest. So I don't know that. Please tell me if I'm wrong. When she's doing the things that she's doing, where she's changing her like inflection, and she's like, and she's like looking up, and she's like, and the thing that I looked forward to the most at the end of the week was for when Charlie came home and he gave me the note. It's just not real. She's just acting. And it's just really bad acting.
And that was powerful. And he would always say, how can I serve you? How can I be a better husband? Because I was saying the same thing. It wasn't just one way. We both knew that in order to make our marriage the most amazing covenant that it was always asking one another, how can
Yeah, that's the other thing. Nobody talks about marriage that way. Sorry. Marriage is great. Okay. It's also the hardest thing I've ever done, ever, and probably will ever do. Marriage is hard. Okay. Especially being honest, the first 5 to 7 years is by far the hardest, especially if you are newly married and then you have 2 kids under the age of 5, which we did because we had twins. It's not as rainbows and glitter and butterflies and, she's making it out to be like, she's thinking about the covenant of marriage. And it's just so, yes, it is a blessing. 100%. It's one of the best things in my life, my marriage, my wife, my family. It's also hard because it's just hard living with and serving others and being a flawed human. She makes it out to be like it's just this thing that it's just like, you just do it. You just do it. It just works. It's just easy. It's just amazing. And he came home and like, and I believe that he did, but like, I don't know, dude. It's just her retelling of the marriage as if like, and we never fought. Me and Charlie never fought. What's that saying? Like a whitewashed tomb, she just can't be honest. Like, could you not be just honest that like, yes, marriage is those things, but not all the time, not every day, not every moment. You're saying Charlie's on the road 320 something days a year. You're largely raising the kids by yourself for a good majority, just being honest. Yes, you have money. Money doesn't buy happiness. It might for her. I guess on the hierarchy of what's important to Erika, if money, and if you're not in love with Charlie, she probably picked the best arrangement ever then, right? She gets all the money, fame, status, wealth, but not a lot of Charlie, And if she's not in love with Charlie and wasn't in love with Charlie, him being on the road 320 days a year probably is her ideal marriage situation, because she can't even be honest that though marriage and having kids is a blessing, it is the most challenging and difficult thing you'll ever do. It just is, and that's why you have to work every day at a marriage. Every day. You can't take a break. You have to be proactive, because if you aren't proactive, your marriage slowly slips away. You never can be complacent. You have to sacrifice a lot. You have to be willing to be wrong. You have to be willing to let things go and to forgive. Yeah, like I can't watch her act like their marriage was this perfect thing when that's just not like possible. It's just not. Yeah, people have good marriages. They do. But even perfect marriages have their struggles. They have their ups and their downs. Each person is human. Charlie was great, but he's human. He's flawed, sinful. We all are, right? Our flesh is sinful. Okay. Everyone to a different degree. Okay. And some people work very hard to beat their flesh into submission, to have a lot of discipline and self-control. But nonetheless, we live in a fallen world. And when we're in these bodies, goodness gracious, I'm hitting this mic a lot tonight. Holy smokes. When we're in these bodies, we all are going to struggle with the flesh, And so for her to act like that just never was a part of their marriage, like she couldn't get up there and tell any part of the marriage that was a struggle. And I get it. Like you're doing an interview and your husband just passed away and, was violently assassinated, but nonetheless, you want to get up there and act like you're being transparent and honest, and you can't. Well, you're not convincing me, and anyone that's been married and has kids knows that the way that you're describing marriage is just an inaccurate representation of life. Yeah. So
can we improve? How can we be better? How can we serve one another? Because your marriage came first, then your kids. So when you put the kids in front of your marriage, that's where some issues start. But Charlie and I always put each other first.
Always.
Obviously you put God first, you understand my sentiment, but he was very good about, in those letters at the end, he would always say, how can I serve you? How can I be a better husband? And it's funny because I never actually took him up on that. I never said, because he was just always so good. And
I never took him up on that. Huh. Earlier, she was like, and I did it too. And I said it. He said it. He wrote, and then I wrote. He served, and then I served. We both did it. But now and I know it's not the same, but it's not quite. So he offered to do, how can I serve you? How can I serve you? But she said never. She never took him up on that. What? You just found the video, but she's speaking with somebody different, and she sing the exact same words that she just didn't. Yours that you just showed, it's all script. Did you send it to me? Send it to my email? Or did you already? No, that's the clip that someone sent me for Charlie for the end. Hold on. Let me hit refresh. Oh, YouTube. So over YouTube. Got to do it though. All right. Wait. Oh, I almost pulled a Baron. Hold on.
saying our marriage was, there was no blemishes of anything. We're human.
No, you literally just said, like, okay, if you're going to then correct the record and be like, I'm not saying our marriage is perfect. It's not like there was no blemishes. Like, tell us then. Tell us in what way you aren't perfect and Charlie was just a man. Give us a little bit of honesty and transparency, because everything up until this point, and we know now too, like everything to date has just been one facade of a perfect Christian, picturesque marriage, and you're perfect, and your family's perfect, and yeah.
But we never got into heavy, big screaming matches. That's not just us.
Let's see if I could do it. I'm not a good actor, but we never got into any like big screaming matches. That's not us. We didn't do that. Erika does seem like someone that is a screamer and a fighter. I just get the feeling that's not true in any way. Yeah. That's the biggest fake smile.
We never did that, but
Never did that.
It was a special reset for the week of how can I be there for you?
Yeah. What do you say to people who don't get faith in marriage or religion in marriage, or that the biblical guide, where I find people will have misperceptions about submission and about a wife and what women are expected to do if they don't fully understand the scriptures, Ephesians 5, and all of those things that give guidance to the husband and the wife.
Ephesians 5 is beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
Submission is not a dirty word.
Whoa. You guys caught that, right? She's like, Ephesians 5 is beautiful. Like hers. I can't do it, but like evil eyes talking about like a beautiful scripture. It's like her face. So like the feeling she's experiencing is not coming across in the face that she's making. And then she's like, submission is not a dirty word. Man, I don't know. Yeah. Weird as heck.
It's a reflection of the bride of Christ. I was blessed to be able to submit to Charlie. And
Submit now, Erika. Prove it. We'll wait. Prove it now. Submit to Charlie, because you know what he said when you were like, hey, let me come to UVU with you. And he's like, nope, you're needed at home. Prove it, Erika. Put your money where your freaking mouth is. You were willing to submit to Charlie. Okay, prove it. Endorse Massey. Speak out against Trump. Tell Andrew and Blake to speak out about Jeffy Epi. Speak out about the Iran war. Submit to the things that Charlie wanted for his kids. Give up CEO, go home and be a mom. Do it. Prove it. Because Charlie's not here, so we don't know that you actually submitted to him ever, when he was alive. We don't know. Charlie's not going to air out his issues on the public stage that he had with you. We don't know. We definitely can't take your word for it. But you have the opportunity to prove now, because we know how Charlie felt about the role of a mom, the role of you specifically, where he felt your role was that women can't be moms and CEOs, okay? Let alone single parent moms, let alone the mom to his children after he's assassinated. You can't prove that he ever said that he wanted you to be CEO. If you could have proven that out of day one, like out of the gate, you would have done it. It's you. You would have relished the opportunity to shove that in our faces and Candace Owens' face. You are not holding that. If that's a real video real audio of Charlie saying it. Give me a freaking break. You would have played that at Amfest. Okay. You would have broadcast that on your channel. It would have been your opening to every Charlie Kirk show. You know? So you act like you never struggled with submitting to Charlie, yet you won't submit to Charlie even now, because we all know what he said and what he felt about, you know, the Christian family and the role of the husband and the mother and the father and the mother. Sorry, husband and wife and father and mother. And you're not doing it. So you're not submitting right now. You're not observing the Sabbath. That was something he wanted. He did that, and he prescriptively wrote a book and said everyone needs to do this. You're not doing that either. So yeah, I don't buy it, dude.
It wasn't a weakness.
Mm.
I'm the guardian of the home.
Hmm.
He's the head of the household.
So who's guarding your home now, Erika? Who's doing it now? Hold on. Pause. Let's see. Let me pull this up. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Oh, wrong button. Hold on. Let me skip this part. Let me go to, where's the part of Erika? Let me turn off the closed caption. Let me back up a smidge.
Significance of this. Have a watch.
It's those little things where, again, he would walk through the door, drop his bags, Daddy's home, take his phone, Friday night, Shabbat Shalom, throw it in the junk drawer, and it was just all us. And that's what I always wanted to make so special for him, was coming home. I'd always say, baby, I don't care what time you get home. Home is here for you. Your food will never be cold. It might sit out for a little bit, but I'll reheat it. It's fine. And
so there's no doubt that.
Oh, bro. So she cried for a week publicly, on stage in front of a camera. And then was like, that's good. That's enough. I mourned it. We're good. I'm good. We can move on now. You know, well, that's not the one that I was thinking of. I was thinking of when, that's not the clip I thought it was going to be, but it's all good.
He provides the house. I make it into a home.
Yeah. Okay.
We complement each other. We're not in competition with one another.
No one, I mean,
And
that's weird. No one said you were. No one thought you were, but I think you think you were. I think you think you are. I mean, you literally put yourself in his shoes. You have completely forsaken your number one responsibility, which is to be the guardian of the house, like you said, and the mother of the children, which you are. But you instead, you're going to take over the organization literally and run it into the ground. Change everything that Charlie was doing at the end. Yeah, dude, this is just unreal.
Supposed to show on full display our relationship with God and Jesus. And when you have a biblical marriage, it is powerful because God can use it in ways that will just absolutely blow your mind. But I have to tell you, being a widow in my 30s, I have seen the power of what a true covenant of marriage is. Because
okay, that's weird. I don't remember saying that. This is, when did this interview take place? Hold on. Let me look up the time. She did it in December. Okay. December 21st is when she did it. And so she had been a widow for September, October, November, December, 3 months. And she's got it all figured out. She's got it all dialed in. She's got it all worked out. All the kinks, all the difficult things, she's already figured out as a widow in her 30s. And to say that so nonchalantly 3 months after and not even shed a tear, that the reality of that, the gravity of that statement, she says, like, I'm going to get something from the store. Like, it's just like, but this realization, as what I've realized as a widow in my 30s. First of all, you're almost 40, but late 30s. Come on, be honest. I don't know how she could say that with a straight face and not be like mad that she's a widow in her 30s.
Is although my husband is no longer here, God has stepped in and fulfilled that role for me. And it's powerful. And just like you said a minute ago, like, people are praying for you. I feel that. I used to always, when something tragic would happen to somebody and I would say, how can I help you? And they would say, just prayer. I'd be like, okay, but what else can I do? Can I make you food? What can I do? And I really underestimated the power of prayer for moments like that. But now I see it on full display of how powerful it is to be blanketed and covered by people's prayers.
Okay, I'm so over you. All right, we'll finish that a different day. Let me go here. Hold on. Wait, why can't I hear it? Where's the
most powerful?
I gotta rewind it. Hold on one second. Let me make sure it's on the screen. It is. Let me make it bigger. All right, so we are towards the end of the show. So if you guys have any super chats you want to get in, please do so now. Also, if you haven't done so already, please hit the like and subscribe. We're going to watch Charlie Kirk clip.
We are done with the most powerful people using their power on a downward campaign to destroy our country. Like, leave the country, LeBron. Like, leave the country. I get pretty fired up about this because we used to be a nation 100 years ago. You could say what you want about Carnegie and Rockefeller and JP Morgan and Mellon, who made billions of dollars, the robber barons, right? Say what you want about them, but they loved the country. They loved America. Rockefeller loved America. JP Morgan loved America. Now the people that have it best, absent Elon Musk, he is the exception. Praise God for him. Mackenzie Bezos, LeBron James, Laureen Paljobs, Reid Hoffman, Mark Benioff, Reed Hastings. They don't love the country that gave them so much. And we are here at America Fest that say, go to hell. Go to hell. We're taking back this country.
Yeah, great point, Charlie.
We are.
Yeah. Let's see. I think there was another one. Hold on. No. Wait, hopefully I'm not sharing my email. No, I'm not, but I got that up there. Hold on. Sorry. I didn't mean to leave that up there. My bad. All right. So for those of you that didn't hear at the beginning of the show, Matt Tucerone, who, he's been on the Soup Eater show. He's been on some other podcasts early on. He was a employee at TPUSA. He worked directly with Tyler Boyer in Turning Point Action, political, in the political arena. He's going to be coming on in the next week or so. He said I could say that. He's a little under the weather and he's getting situated. And so as soon as that he feels good enough, he's going to be on the show, and there's going to be a lot of new stuff he's going to be talking about. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. That's going to be a really good show. I spent about an hour and a half on the phone with him, and it's going to be a good show. You're not going to want to miss that. Okay. And let's see. Yeah. All right. Let me make sure I got EST here. Oh, you're saying you're on the East Coast? Yeah. Let me make sure I got to all the super chats. Yes. All right. And then also I want to make sure if you guys haven't, if you guys don't want to give to through YouTube, you can donate and support the channel here at the Black Line Brief Venmo account, or you can do it here at buymeacoffee.com/the Black Line Brief. Just make sure when you do so, just say that what you would like your support or donation to go to. Okay. I think I've covered everything. Let me see though. Nobody is buying. I think this is directed at Erika Kirk, buying her talk unless them and TPUSA are still trying to brainwash these little kids. So by the time we're older, you know, you guys could just keep on running the gamut. Yeah, I agree. Oh, Julia, thank you so much. And thank you for the black hearts. I know what they mean now. I'm learning. Black hearts equals love. Yes. Equals Black Line Brief love. Yes. Got you. 100%. Let's see. I want to make sure I give time. Oh, it's happening right now. Did you throw it in the chat already? Is it on X though? While working on kinks. Is it on X or is it on YouTube? Mystic. K Luck is doing a live space and I'm going to be headed there after I end here. But Mystic, can you tell me, is it on X or is it on YouTube? It's a live space. I'm thinking it's X maybe. Let's see if I can add it in to the chat as well. K Luck is a member of the show or community, a member of the community. Cool. Let me see if I can find it and then I can throw it in the chat. Let's see. I don't know. What was her handle on X? Is it K Luck? I don't think it is. I forget what it was. So maybe it's on YouTube. All right. Is Mystic still here? Okay, yeah. Y'all, KLuck13 is hosting an X space. Oh, it is? I'm following the show, so hold on. KLuck13. So it's KLuck13. Wait, hold on, Mystic. KLuck13 or KLucky? I don't see KLuck13 popping up on my X, which is weird. It says no results for, am I spelling it wrong? That video right there that you have, does it say where she's at in the description? Who? What video? Erika Kirk? The video that I had of Erika Kirk? Delaney? Throw that in. I saw your thumbnail with a dragon. Yeah, it's it's Lord Farquaad from Shrek. Erika Kirk is Lord Farquaad, and Blake Neff is Donkey because he's a Jack Ursh. And yeah, it was gonna be that Andrew Kolvet was a dragon, but yeah, that is the thumbnail. Delaney, the video that I sent you, she's wait, well, I don't know about the one that you sent me. Oh, where the guy is talking? Okay, I'll have to watch that part of him, like what he's saying. If so, and I've said this before, like if I haven't viewed a video in full, I am apprehensive to play it for the first time on a live. If I don't know, obviously anything that like Erika Kirk has done, like her appearances, I already know them. But I don't know that gentleman. I don't know what he said or what he was going to say. And so if I'm going to play that in full, which I could at the next show, I just have to watch it first. Okay. It's just a best practice for myself to protect myself and the channel. All right. Not that you would ever do anything. It's just a rule I have. I have to watch it in full before I can play something. All right. The video. Yeah, I got it. Like I said, I'll look at it, but with Mystic, I can't find, am I spelling it wrong or something? You know? Oh, there it is. All right. I'm here. All right. Well, all right. As they troubleshoot. All right, you guys. Thank you guys so much, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are the best. Yeah, it's on X. Should I have X? Yeah, you should. A lot of good stuff does happen on X. It's also a little bit crazy. But yeah, I would recommend having an X. A lot of X spaces are on there. When you going to do another live with Mrs. Matt? Oh, with the Mrs. Would you guys like to see that this weekend? If you guys would like to see that in a members only, I can do that this weekend. Because it's my wife and because of all the stupidness that happened online. And if those of you that don't know what happened, I don't want to go into it. I just have to protect my wife. And so, yeah, I'll only have her be on members only lives. But if you guys want that, we can do that this weekend and I'll talk with her. Okay. Yes, Mrs. Matt. We can do that this weekend. All right. Like on Saturday or Sunday. Yes. I loved that last one. Okay. All right. I don't see that being an issue. Okay. We can do that this weekend. Thank you guys. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And there the freaking light turns off again. God bless you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for your love and support. Have a great night. Sleep tight. See you guys tomorrow. God bless. Love you guys.